What's going on, YouTube? Let's move the chains. We are here with Coach Phil Reacts, our CFL guy. We're going to do weekly episodes, Wednesdays, hopefully 6:30 consistently. First of many, not many people on this live show. We'll look to move that up in the future, get some more awareness on the CFL because it's such an awesome league that doesn't get the love it deserves. And Coach Phil, by the way, y'all should follow him on Twitter, follow him on YouTube as well, putting the CFL on his back for social media. Because I mean, he's been spreading. Coach Phil, why don't you talk a little bit about the CFL and what you've been doing?
First of all, thank you for having me on your live and on your channel. I've been working, just doing CFL stuff like the last year and a half or so. Started doing like reactions to little highlights here and there, and then I started reacting to the games. When the season started, I reacted to the Grey Cup between Hamilton and Winnipeg. I reacted to the Saskatchewan and Winnipeg game, and it just kind of started off that way and took a life of itself. And then I made a video a couple weeks ago called #WorkWithUsCFL, and through the grace of God, I mean, it just got to the right place, and now I kind of just blew up a little bit. So it feels good. It feels really good to be able to react to CFL stuff. And I tried reacting to USFL stuff, XFL stuff, NFL stuff, and I just kept getting hit with the copyright, hit with the copyright, and CFL just started working with me, and teams started following me, players started following me, and it's taking a life of its own, and I'm just very grateful and thankful. That's all I can say.
Let's go. So we will outline quickly what we're going to do today. And hello, everyone joining us in the chat live, and then people who will be joining us in the future watching this recorded. So first, we will go over some quick rankings that Coach Phil has for us. And then 2, we will go over the predictions. 3, we're going to talk about McLeod Thompson possibly going to the Canadian Football League. And then any questions that y'all have or anything y'all want to talk about, we'll talk a little with Coach Phil about what he's enjoyed about covering the Canadian Football League. So let's start out with the rankings. I'm just going to put on the CFL Power Rankings right here. Coach Phil, go through what you think the rankings should be and how they may differ or be the same to these.
I'm going to start with Toronto. Obviously should be number 1, the reigning defending Grey Cup champs. They are absolutely balling right now. It was kind of shaky there a little bit when they played Edmonton, but they redeemed themselves in the end of it all. I would move BC to 3 and put Winnipeg at 2, just based off of the performance that Winnipeg had this past week. BC, it's kind of shaky with me with BC because I don't understand, and I've mentioned this on my channel, I don't understand their offense. I really don't. And I don't really trust their line at this point in time right now, but I'm going to stick them at 3. My Saskatchewan Roughriders, they're fine where they are. It's hit or miss. I would keep Montreal where they are, and I would put Ottawa above Calgary. And Edmonton has to stay at the bottom until they win a game.
They could win a game this week. A lot of people think that's the case. I know we're not going over the predictions yet. We'll wait for that one, but I tend to agree with you. BC is like, when they're on offensively, they're on, but sometimes Vernon Adams just turns it over a little bit too much for my liking.
Right. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, here's the thing, and I know we're doing a ranking and we're talking about everybody, but BC is just, they have all the talent and the pieces to win the Grey Cup. They have the defense, decent special teams, but what offensively is their direction? Like, are they a quick passes, or are they, we're going to mix it up with intermediate and deep passes, and we're going to run the ball a little bit? They've got a 3-headed monster in their receiving core. I mean, Rhymes is, if not undoubtedly, the best receiver in the CFL right now. I personally think it's Dalton Schoen, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't know if the offense is going to be their best asset or if it's going to be a hindrance on them.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. Some other teams maybe to highlight for me, lately. I do think Winnipeg's always going to be a player, especially when it gets late into the season. But me being a Calgary Stampeders fan, it has been rough these past couple of years. I adopted the Stampeders long time ago when Tavares Daniels started, didn't start playing in the league. He joined Calgary and won a Grey Cup, and they played in that snow game.
Yeah.
I've been 2016, 15, around then. Ever since then, it has been a dramatic fall for the Stampeders. I almost wore my shirt, but it's been a little rough. 1 second. I have to be right back. Gotta let in somebody into my apartment real quick. Coach Phil, I'll put the rankings back up real quick. Lock my roommate out.
It's all good. It's all good. Oh, this rankings. I don't know. Just don't know. Like, if anybody in the chat that follows my channel, comment in the comment section. But I'm not really sold on Hamilton. But okay, I'll live with that.
Sorry, I'm back. I locked out my roommate. Yeah, Hamilton has been having a problem. Okay. Sorry, I just have to get situated back again. Okay, let's go to our predictions real quickly.
Yep.
Because I know you've got another podcast later tonight. You're making the CFL rounds, building up the league. So here are the games, chat, that y'all can see. We'll start off with Hamilton and Edmonton. I know my pick. What is yours?
It's Hamilton's game to lose, and it's Edmonton's to win. But I'm gonna go with Hamilton. They finally lit a little bit. They have a little bit of light, and I trust Samani Lawrence anchoring that defense. I'm starting to get a feel for what direction they want to go with James Butler and Matt Schultz. They got Tim White, and they need to give Duke Williams the ball. Feed Duke. He's a really good number 2 receiver to feed off of Tim White. I'm liking the direction.
James Butler has been absolutely fantastic. Doesn't he lead the league right now? I believe he does in broken tackles or forced missed tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I think, gosh, like I want to pick Edmonton because I want them to win at home so badly. But like, I don't want that to be the reason why I picked them to win this game.
So you have faith in Taylor Cornelius?
No, because I've watched.
I've
watched a handful of games. It's a shame because I watched him when he was at Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
and he was pretty good. And then I watched him in the XFL when he played for the Vipers.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't horrible. I actually thought that he had some promise, but the CFL has just been different. And it might just also be the game is so much different. Like people don't understand the Canadian Football League to American football it's not like something that translate. They don't equal each other. It's so different. So, but like his inaccurate stuff, like he can't hit guys on slants, things like that. So, yeah, I was gonna pick Edmonton. You know what? No, I'm going to pick Edmonton just for fun here. Okay, next game, Toronto and Montreal. Who you got here?
I have all faith in Toronto. They are the best team right now, other than Winnipeg, and we'll get to them in a second. But Toronto all around. My only concern with them is health. That's the only thing I worry about with them. Montreal could upset Toronto if they stop letting Cody Fajardo do 5-step drops and let him just attack quickly, which then will drop the defense, which will drop the DBs down, and they can start attacking downfield because he can get it to Mac. He can get it to his other receivers, but you can't just come out the gate and expect that offensive line to hold up and let Cody do 5-step drops, 7-step drops. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have time like that.
I tend to agree with you. I saw an article rolling around talking about CFL offenses, how they tend to just let the quarterback sit in the pocket for way too long, and they want to stretch the field so much that building up drives might be the way to be more productive. I've also got Toronto here. It's funny, one of my buddies plays quarterback at UAB. He played tight end and quarterback at Ole Miss, and he knows Chad Kelly. So he's been talking about he's been excited to finally get a grasp on the starting position at Toronto. So that's been very exciting to see. Another star quarterback. Like now in the CFL, it's been a couple of years where we're starting to get younger, good quarterbacks coming in, which has just been very exciting. And I do think Toronto is going to win this one. Absolutely. Next game, Winnipeg and Ottawa. This one might be a little obvious.
Well, yeah, it's obvious, but like I said before, I got a soft spot for Ottawa, man. After I reacted to Behind the R, I learned to appreciate Ottawa. I learned to have a little love for it, man. I like that they got an African-American head coach, Bob Dice. Obviously, Jeremiah Masoli, prayers to him and everything. He gets healthy. I like their team, but I don't see them upsetting Willie J and Winnipeg. I can't turn against Willie J. I can't.
No, they've got a quarterback situation right now. It's tough. They've also 2 starting quarterbacks injured back to back, and then Jeremiah Masoli coming back in his first game. It's crazy to me. It's honestly crazy that the events that are happening at quarterback for Ottawa. It's really sad because you hate to see guys get it, especially Masoli. He's so talented. I know how much he was looking forward to finally playing in the Canadian Football League again. You could tell he's passionate about it. And just the first game back after a season-ending injury, he gets hurt. It's really sad, honestly.
It really is. And I was liking Tyree Adams. I was liking him. He was putting on a show. He was from the week before when he got a little bit of time to play. I saw it. I said, I like what he's doing. He's going to have a big game next week. I hope Dice starts him. And sure enough, he starts him and he gets hurt.
Yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, got Winnipeg here. Calgary and Saskatchewan for our last game on the schedule.
I have a love-hate relationship with my Rough Riders. It's tough because they're very similar, and I know Craig and Dave Dickinson. It's the matchup of the brothers against each other. Their philosophies are very similar, but they're in 2 different quarterback situations. With Mayer on Calgary, he can't throw deep. He can't. But when it comes to Saskatchewan, I'm still not sold on Trevor Harris. I'm gonna rock with my Rough Riders. I got to do it, but do not count out Calgary. Do not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Calgary, and it's purely because I'm a fan of Calgary, and that's my Canadian Football League team. And do my confidence level, if you ask me that, it wouldn't be high because this offense has just been really, really poor, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna go Calgary here. Now let's talk a little bit and segue over to the CFL Talk that has been probably most prominent on Twitter, the potential return of McLeod Thompson, former Grey Cup champion from the Toronto Argonauts, and if he would return to the Ottawa Red Blacks. Now, there was a post by the CFL of, I believe is the Waggle podcast, where they were talking about how one of the podcasters said that he talked to McLeod Thompson, and MBT said he is not going to the Canadian Football League. What I believed, and I posted a video earlier today before that even came out, was that I think that he's going to get a shot at the NFL. That's what he came to the USFL to do. It was that and family. He needed the American game, and he really wants to play in the NFL. Like, that's his goal. So I think he's going to try and get a tryout and hopefully make a team. But there's a chance that he doesn't, and that he could end up playing in the CFL, but there's obviously more to that. What do you think about this situation?
I'm gonna be honest with you as only I can be. I would never knock a player or anybody for going to get an opportunity to go to the NFL. I will never do that. Get your money, get your opportunity. The NFL is the NFL. But what does he, if he can't do it in the CFL, what makes him think he can do it in the NFL? Like family, I'm never gonna dog somebody. Take care of your family. You want to be with your family, that's great. I would do the exact same thing. But if we're talking just football, the last performance he had in the CFL, he got hurt.
Oh, do you mean USFL or CFL?
No, when he was in the CFL,
okay,
and they were in the Grey Cup, he got hurt, and then he was out the rest of the game, and Chad had to come in and save the day. And I've never really been a fan of McLeod Thompson, just off the fact that he's inconsistent. He'll give you one game, and he'll have two inconsistent games. And if he went to Ottawa, he's no better than Arbuckle. So, and Arbuckle doesn't do good. So I don't know. Go take your chance. Do what you got to do. I'm happy for him. I want the best for him. But if he comes back to the CFL, okay. All right. Welcome back. You want a cookie?
Well, I think I tend to agree with you on some of your points, especially the fact that MBT does get hot and cold. Through the United States Football League, the first half of the season, MBT was the MVP frontrunner. Him and Wes Hills, it could go either way, but he was torching the league.
Right.
Then Wes Hills dealt with some injuries. He didn't get as many carries. The offensive line wasn't protecting well because they just did not have Hills in at running back, and they could not really get – I mean, this is my thing with McLeod. I'm wondering if in the USFL how much of that was due to that strong run game and his ability, like the defense is respecting how much how successful they were running the ball. Okay. And I'm wondering if McLeod, when that was taken away, that was one of the reasons. Now there could have been many reasons, but one of the reasons that the Breakers had a fall off because they were not the same team in the second half of the season, right? They lost twice to the Stallions, and one of them was just an absolute blowout in the playoffs. And the Breakers, remember, they beat the Stallions earlier in the season when they were more healthy and had Wes Hills in. But yeah, I mean, like I think the part that I'll disagree, I think that he would be an upgrade in Ottawa, but like, how many wins does that get Ottawa? Like, is it really worth it? I just don't know how many wins he gets. And if I'm him, think about this too. 35 years old. He played in the Canadian Football League, won the Grey Cup, got hurt maybe. You know, there's maybe you could question his age, but think about this. Played in the Grey Cup, played a whole CFL season, played a whole USFL season. Is he going to play the rest of the CFL season and then jump back into the USFL to get back into the NFL? That's a football marathon. And I don't know if I'm not making sense. I kind of rambled a little bit.
No. You are to something because I have a response for that. Okay. I'll let you finish.
That's and so somebody commented that he can't go to the CFL or the XFL per the USFL contract. So again, this is the internet. So now I'm not talking about Mike G's comment. Mike G, you bring up a great point. I'll go ahead and highlight that and put that on the screen.
Yeah.
I saw some people saying that McLeod has a clause in his contract where he could return to the CFL if like he wanted to. Maybe I don't know. The internet's the internet. Somebody could could be making that up, or it could be hearsay, or I heard from a guy who heard from a guy. So again, we're not ones. We don't have the insider information on that. Really, the only way to get out of your USFL contract is you pursuing opportunities in the National Football League. Like, you can't go from the USFL to the XFL. Like, we know that as much in the contract. I guess we don't really know about the CFL and the work between the USFL and the CFL, like what the contract is like. I haven't seen a contract, you know, but it's definitely an interesting situation. What were you going to say?
Okay, so I'm you the USFL guy. So let me compare. Okay, you remember last season when the Breakers had, I think it was Kevin Sloter?
Yes.
Did McLeod Thompson do anything better than Kevin Sloter did with that exact same team?
In terms of wins, like
in terms
outcome?
of wins, in terms of impact, in terms of being the guy.
Okay.
Even at 35.
Okay. In terms of the outcome, no. The Breakers finished in the same spot they did last season, right? Southern, coming second in the Southern Division.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. The Southern Division was so much better than it was last year. And the USFL was much better 2023 season than 2022. And he played much better than Kyle Sloter did.
Okay.
Although Kyle Sloter played fairly well, there was an obvious difference between those two Breakers teams. Now, there are also other things around that. Like, they didn't have Wes Hills in 2022. And when Wes Hills got injured, well, the Breakers didn't look as dominant. So like there are other factors, and it's hard to say without having like all 22 tape and going through every single game. So I'm like a little hesitant, but if I went with my gut reaction, I would say yes. McLeod Thompson was an upgrade, but the upgrade wasn't enough to beat the Stallions.
Okay.
Right.
So let me ask this next question then to you. Would you, and this is gonna be a tough question to ask because I know we're talking CFL, but it also plays a part in, because these guys could come from USFL to the CFL at some point. Okay. I look at McLeod Thompson, and I know everybody says, "Oh, he won a Grey Cup." McLeod Thompson had nothing to do with that Grey Cup victory at all. That defense won him a Grey Cup. So I'm not about to bet the house on McLeod Thompson. I can't lie to you and be like, he's going to be this game changer and he's going to turn Ottawa into a playoff contender. No, he's not. Anywhere he goes, he's not that dude. He's hot. Like you said before, he's hot and cold. I would take, if anybody from the USFL, I'd take DeAndre Johnson. He's still there, right? And with the Generals?
With the Generals, yes.
Yeah.
He's was battling some injuries, so I don't know if he's fully healthy right now.
I would take him. I'd give him a shot. But here's the other thing. If Shea Patterson can play in the CFL, then what the heck? He might as well. I mean, because Shea Patterson was terrible in the USFL. He was the #1 pick in the USFL draft, correct?
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember watching Shea Patterson.
I'm sorry, I don't. And he's I think he's on the Rough Riders. I believe he's on the Rough Riders. So I just, that's another story for another day with Patterson. Okay, Mark Brennan said Patterson only short. I don't care if it's short yardage. I don't care if he's got to throw a football through a farm. Shea Patterson is the absolute worst quarterback. They hyped him up at Michigan. They hyped him up with the Michigan Panthers. Granted, he had Jeff Fisher, Mr. 7 and 9, but if Shea Patterson can get a job in the CFL, what might as well give McLeod Thompson a chance. If that's the standard we're going by, then by all means, give Garrett Marino Garrett Marino a job again in the CFL, and I can't stand him. He's in the USFL.
He's a UAB guy, Birmingham,
and he's also a jerk. But what can you do? So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, there's definitely a quarterback shortage right now between 3 leagues. Like it's getting weird. It's getting weird, but it'll also drive maybe some prices and contracts up, and maybe give some more guys opportunities in all the leagues.
I do like the quarterbacks. And it's crazy because Jordan Teamu went to the XFL. Luis Perez, love Luis Perez. He went to the XFL. They also got Ben DiNucci from the NFL. They've got XFL does have the USFL beat in the quarterback department, but I also have faith in like a DeAndre Johnson, who I think would be incredible in the CFL. But McLeod Thompson coming back to the CFL, I'd rather see him in Edmonton than see Taylor Cornelius, to be honest with you. But what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that he would definitely be an upgrade over Taylor Cornelius.
And people think that, I despise Taylor Cornelius. I don't despise him. He's playing at the professional level. I just go off of the tape and what I see, and for some reason, it's just not clicking with him. But what do you know?
Well, great talk. I guess if anybody else has any questions, we got a couple more minutes. I know that you have another show tonight. But yeah, any other thoughts on the CFL? Maybe some things you're looking forward to this week. Maybe some players who you've enjoyed watching so far this season.
If anybody's going to have a breakout game, there's a couple guys. I'm looking for Hamilton, James Butler. I think he's about to have a big game. He might break 100. He might break 120. That's what I think with that one. As far as like, obviously, Willie's going to have a big game. He's been rolling. Willie's going to. I expect Willie to at least get 2 sacks. I think there's one more person, and I'm concerned about this person, but I think he'll have a good one. I think Jalen Ackman will have a decent game. Because if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Winnipeg plays a lot of man coverage. So I think that's going to work in Jalen's benefit. Those are my guys right now for this week. Okay, guys, there you heard it. And I hope y'all join us. We're going to make this Wednesday thing, 6:30. Good timing here. We went, about 30 minutes? We thought we'd go 15, but I think the chemistry was good on this show. Y'all make sure to follow Coach Phil. So I put his handle or his YouTube link in the description, as well as a live chat. Also, we've got some big news. USFL fans, XFL fans as well, and maybe some CFL fans. We've got Scooby Wright, linebacker for the Birmingham Stallions, coming on the show this month sometime. Still working on that. That one's going to be fun and one that you won't want to miss. I'll keep you updated in the community tabs. Until then, guys, stay out there. Keep moving the chains. I enjoyed getting back on YouTube. This is the first live stream in over 10 months. Coach Phil, you got anything left for us? Hey, everybody, just be safe. Be safe in these streets. Continue to strive for greatness, and we will see you guys next week. Awesome.